Hi, my name is Matthew, and I have Barney McKevitt here with me today. Hi, Barney. Thank you for agreeing to take part in the Respect Project's local sporting hero with me. I'd like to start off by asking you some questions about your childhood, if that's okay with you.
Of course, yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from a small hamlet just on the border, a place called Killeavy, just outside Newry. That's where I reside.
Can you tell me what your main hobbies were when you were growing up?
Growing up, I suppose where we came from was predominantly Gaelic area. We were linked with Killeavy. You go to the Killeavy club on a Monday night, Wednesday night. And then the boxing club was in Killeavy at that time as well. So I suppose the sports then was boxing.
At what age did you first get involved in with the club?
At that time, Killeavy would have been the hub for activity for young people. So when you left school, primary school, you would look forward to going to play indoor soccer or boxing, maybe one of the evenings as well. Not so much Irish dancing, it was available as well. But the club would have been our first port of call for activities of sport. Like,
Did you win any major trophies or anything with you?
At Killeavy, yes. Killeavy are very strong in their underage. Mr. Mallon, who would have been the principal of Kenyon, was being our manager. Stroke me. So Killeavy would have had a big reputation for underage cups. So we would have won at rate the whole way right up through. Some of them we lost in championship, but we won a few. Yeah.
You played both boxing and Gaelic. What was the transition difference between the two sports?
Boxing was a bit of, I suppose, bringing you into a more controlled, where the onus was on you to be self-disciplined. Whereas the Gaelic football was, you were encapsulated into a team where you had a role and responsibility within that team. So I suppose two different sports, but interlinked, I suppose, to a degree.
Before each game, people have different ways for preparing for big games. What way did you prepare for them?
I suppose one of the first things would be getting your bag packed. Would be not to go without gum shields weren't mandatory then. I suppose your gloves, having clean boots, having your gear washed, be things like that there. And then mental note, probably finding out from through schools who you have been playing against, what were their attributes, what was their positive. So is he left-footed, is he right-footed? But does he take how to basically prevent him from scoring? My job was a back.
Playing both sports, a lot of training would have been involved. Can you tell me about the training and the sacrifices that you had to take?
Well, moving from when I played Gaelic, I went down and I tried for Armagh. I had 2 matches for Armagh. I went to England. I played football in Warwickshire for John Mitchell's in Birmingham. Coming back, I picked up rugby in Banbridge, and the sacrifices I probably had to make at that time was you were playing 2 different sports at 2 different times of the week. You had to make a call probably later in relation to the Gaelic. You wouldn't have been available some nights. So that choice was made on the basis that I felt that maybe the rugby was giving me a better opportunity for my skills.
Over the years, you took on managerial roles in underage soccer and Gaelic teams. What made you get involved with these?
Basically, I wanted to give something back. What I really wanted to see at a club level was encouragement of younger players and developing them players to be the best they can be, not only probably as footballers but as people in general. That's not always, I think some coaches allude to the fact that winning is the most important thing. My philosophy would be winning is something that occurs when you do everything right on a particular date and time. So I think from a coach's point of view, for me, player development and developing culture around our own club is sort of a mandatory requirement. And I want to see, me as a coach, trying to deliver that for our club.
What is the best thing you got out from being a manager?
Best thing I've got out of being a manager is, I suppose, seeing the development of players from a very young age and how they've progressed, both from a sporting aspect, from their people, their attitude towards people, their whole ethos. Some kids get lost in the sight of what life's all about, and basically, extending that friendship. As you know yourself, we went to Galway, we played a team that we probably never going to see again, but who knows, you might meet them in the future. But I suppose what I've got out of it is in the years is very much enjoyment and better development for me going forward in my career. That I'm doing something positive, and if I'm getting positive feedback from people I'm coaching, it's good.
What was your highlight of being the Wanderers so far?
It's just been loads of highlights. We and sort of these we've run lots of stuff, but all the things is I suppose it's enjoyment of bonding with young fellas there, and of course they're on their own paths. Maybe sometime in the future you meet some of them that come over, have a chat with you. Do you remember we done this? That's enjoyment for me. So it's not about winning cups for me. It's about player development and player enjoyment.
What was the best advice that you were given as a coach or player, and did it help?
As a player, I was always coached to never give up, never ever, no matter what happens, never give up. If you're lying down, you've always an opportunity to get up. It's all about progress. My view will be about can I be better? Can I go to training? What can I work on that takes me to a place outside my comfort zone? That on a match day I can get into that zone. Can I? Before, from a coaching perspective, I think the advice I got was basically treat people the way you'd like to be trained. It's not always about shouting, it's about basically understanding, because some players aren't at the same level as you, so things I got there in terms of keeping balance.
What advice would you give to young people wanting to get involved in those sports or any other sport?
Any type of sport reaches out to an audience. Young players should reach out for that opportunity. Opportunities, I'm a good believer in opportunity in a lifetime should be taken on the lifetime of the opportunity. Whether that be from a sporting perspective, would be if you get an opportunity to maybe go play a different sport, go play it. Go see, do you like it? You might like it. If you're a good Gaelic footballer, you'll be very good at rugby. If you're athletic, you might be good at soccer. And there's other things, there's other attributes, swimming, cardio stuff. But I suppose reach out, because the sport always finds that if you're in a sporting environment, you'll always have people that you can look up to. Makes you sort of answer to somebody. In that, it's perhaps a situation where you were going down a path but you shouldn't be going. So it's looking up to someone, and that sporting arena always gives you that, whether it be at coach level or player level. There's always someone there that you can go and speak to. That would be my view of what you should do.
Who would your sporting hero be, and have they had any influence on you playing sports throughout the years?
Sporting heroes, well, I wouldn't say so much sporting heroes. People who I have looked at and said, maybe they've wrote something, maybe they've done a podcast, things like that. There are little snippets from different people. I've looked and considered the positives that they bring. Going through things at different stages of your life, you'll have different people that you'll focus on. In particular, if you want me to pick one, I thought that when I read the book of Richie McCaw in the rugby, how he'd lost a World Cup final, and yet he came back, and in his book he wrote one night when he was at a dresser, Gabe, he wrote down Gabe, that was his goal, and that was GABE, be the greatest All Black ever. and he achieved it. And he lifted the World Cup twice after that. So as someone that was driven, didn't let his laurs drop, a leader of men on the pitch, things he got there. So I think if you ask me, he will probably be one of the books, and perhaps you should read it yourself.
Barney, can you tell me a bit more about your sporting achievements over the years?
Sure, yeah. So one of the things I've achieved is I used to, whenever I was at primary school, secondary school, my uncle took me down to the karate club in Uri. I think it was at the back of Courtney Hilda and thing. And I achieved honours there in karate at a very high level. I moved forward then when I went to university, then University of Central England, Birmingham. I took up jiu-jitsu. I achieved a brown belt. But as part of that, there's university competitions over there, and there was a competition in Birmingham where all the universities of UK are invited to, and I subsequently won the British Nationals jiu-jitsu competition in Birmingham that particular year for our university. I also played football for one of the local teams, John Mitchell's, Birmingham. I guess it's a fairly big club established out at the airport, and I received an invitation to go play for Warwickshire, which would be the equivalent of Armagh counties. And we travelled to Manchester, London, played teams in London, Tirconnell's, and there. So yeah, that's just some of the achievements. Some small, some big, but all relating to sport.
You also mentioned about playing for Armagh. Can you tell me a bit about the experience?
Yeah, sure. Fairly limited to extent. My club put me forward, myself and Shane and me, to play. I think it was the Two Brians era. We went down to the athletic grounds to play. Antrim was the first match, and then we were recalling for a second match. So, yeah, at least I can say I've put on an Armagh jersey.
Thank you, Barney, for allowing me this opportunity to get more into your sporting life.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you.